Hi there. So, in last week's newsletter, I wrote about how our feminine beauty and power is like a lamp and that it needs to be plugged in. And I heard back from a lot of you that you really loved it, that you really resonated with what I was talking about. And at the bottom of the newsletter, I included a little exercise. And it's a practice that helps you energetically plug in like that lamp. And sometimes when a visualization, a breathing practice is written and you're trying to follow it, can be a little more challenging. So I thought I'd send you a video so you can follow it with me. So, what I was saying in this newsletter was that our feminine beauty and our feminine power is like a lamp, and that there are certain ways that our culture relates to beauty that are incredibly disempowering, that take us actually away from our own inner beauty and take us away from our inner power when we adopt them. And what that is a very external approach. So if you think of a lamp, imagine you just got this really groovy lamp that you love and you put it in your living room and it's like the awesome color that you like and the shape, and it's got this cool lampshade, and you put a light bulb in it and you go and you turn it on, you go to turn it on and no lights there. What would you do? I mean, you've got this beautiful lamp, so it's like decorative, but it's not actually producing light. A lamp is meant to light up the space, illuminate the room. So, what would be the first thing you would ask is you would check, is that lamp plugged in? Because if the lamp isn't plugged in to the electrical source, then it doesn't have the energy, it can't produce the light it's meant to produce, no matter how awesome the lampshade is or how groovy the lamp is. So we're like that, meaning our culture is focusing on the lampshade and it's focusing on the shape of the lamp and how cool it is. And so we're focusing a lot generally on these externals, and we're forgetting to check about if we're plugged in. So you've all had that experience of either feeling yourself this in certain moments or watching it when a woman walks into a room and she lights it up. And when she's lighting it up, there's a way in which everyone's drawn to that energy. You feel warm when you're around it, and you feel empowered in some way. You want to be like that. You're attracted to that, and it reminds you of what is possible for you. So I know that you are meant to light up the room. And you're meant to actually bring that light more often than you're probably experiencing it. It's possible for you to be really being able to be that light. And one of the things that I offer is that it's not just about beauty. It's not just about getting attention and attracting men or something like that. It's actually about being a luminous light. It's about being, in some ways, it's like not just being a light that's lighting up the living room, but a lighthouse that is guiding others. Because most of the women that I speak to and that I work with know that they're called to be a leader. And sometimes you're a leader just as a mother in a household, or maybe it's somewhere in your work. If you're called to be a leader, you want to light up the room and you want to provide a kind of luminescence that is going to guide others. And so in order to do that, we need to plug in. And what do I mean by plug in? Well, it's understanding that we actually need a fuel, we need something, an electrical current actually that's moving through us that illuminates us in that way, that allows us to be luminescent. Sometimes we try and push that. And you can kind of do this thing that's, oh, I'm going to light up the room with my energy and kind of push this thing out there. And, a long time ago, I was an actress and I had a lot of friends that were actresses and very good at that. And sometimes it can feel like not authentic. And eventually over time, what happens is that it becomes exhausting and you actually deplete yourself because you're trying to push this thing out, and it's very externally based. It's like, I'm trying to get this effect. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is something that is effortlessly moving through you that you're not even aware that you're doing, because it's actually a being. And I think that would be one of the big differences, is like when you're doing that thing to light up the room, it's like effort and doing. And what I'm talking about is being. You're just being yourself, and you're fueled in a way that makes it very effortless, yet you're having that effect of being luminescent and lighting up the room and allowing yourself to be that leader. So how do we do that in a way that's not pushing, not doing, and not exhausting? Is that we're allowing ourselves to receive our feminine fuel, our feminine energy, and feminine, literally electrical current that moves through us, that lights us up and energizes us. And there's a word, Shakti, that I love, because to me, Shakti is really what feminine power is. And this is a word from India, from the Sanskrit, very ancient language. It's from that tradition. Shakti means feminine, creative, life force energy. I'm going to say that one more time. Feminine, creative, life force energy. This word also means goddess. Awesome word, right? So when a woman is in her feminine power, and when a woman is really electrically alive in an organic, natural way, I would say that that is a woman who is filled up with Shakti. She's emanating Shakti. And that is the thing that draws and attracts so much and inspires others and actually can give. It's almost like you're an overflowing cornucopia when you're filled up with this, so others can actually feel that energy themselves. So how do we cultivate Shakti? How do we fill ourselves up with that? Well, I say, number one, we plug into that source. We understand that there's a source that we can plug into. And it's both an internal and an external source. It's a way that we go deep inside and we connect to our own creative life force energy and power. And we also are able to drop a cord and plug in and connect to the Earth Shakti. So that's the practice I want to share with you. Obviously, there's so much more I could say about Shakti and so much more about how to cultivate this energy. But right now, I just want to share with you step number one. Let's plug the lamp in. So what I'm going to do is ask you to just get into a seated position. You can do this seated cross-legged on the floor, or like I'm sitting right now in a chair and I have both of my feet flat down. And you want to feel a lot of rooting. This is really important. And there's a whole other lesson I could talk to you about the importance of grounding and rooting. But we'll just, for the moment, I'll just say that just like an electrical current, needs to be grounded, so do we. And so sometimes we're up here, in the mental space because we're on electronics and our computers and everything. And we're in this thinking all day. And we get ungrounded. And when we're not grounded, then we can't plug in and we're not supported by this Shakti, because the Earth's Shakti is what we want to ground ourselves into. And then we're able to really marinate and connect to that inner energy. So what I'm going to do is share a practice where we're just going to visualize ourselves dropping a cord and plugging in to the socket of the Earth's Shakti. So go ahead, close your eyes, sitting in either a cross-legged position or on a chair with your feet flat down. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start to draw the energy from the head downwards This is how we root and we ground. We have to start to drop the energy down. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, with the eyes closed, start to tune in just to the parts of your body that are making contact with the seat beneath you. So feeling your butt cheeks, feeling your thighs connect. And as you're feeling that, I want you to imagine that your awareness and your breath that you're bringing to that part of the body is like flame to candle wax. So what happens is that your awareness is starting to melt those parts of your body. They're starting to soften and spread and ooze and liquefy. So feeling your butt cheeks soften, feeling the thighs spreading. And I want you to continue to take that energy actually into your pelvis. So into the whole pelvic floor. And feeling your sexual organs softening as well. And I want you just to be aware of anywhere that you are adding extra tension or working to hold yourself up. And I want you to give permission to soften, because this is about receiving. We're going to receive fuel here. So softening everything, and then bringing your awareness to your perineum. Your perineum is right in the center of the pelvic floor. It's halfway in between your vaginal opening and your anal opening. So don't get too caught up in trying to find the right spot. Just feel energetically into that area in the middle of the pelvic floor. And just see if you can kind of locate a power spot there. This is a real source of power for us as women. Once you've located your energetic perineum, I want you to start to drop a cord down. Imagine that there's a cord of connection, like the electrical cord of a lamp, that's dropping from your perineum down through the seat cushion beneath you. And this cord continues to drop through the floorboards. And it continues to drop all the way down into the basement of the building you're in, and through the floor of the basement into the earth. And I want you to feel that this cord is now burrowing through all of these different layers of earth. The upper layers into deeper and deeper rocky, nutrient-rich, mineral-rich, core, earthy soil. Deeper and deeper and deeper, until finally this cord reaches the very center of the earth. And in the center of the earth, there's a molten lava Shakti filled core. And you're going to wrap this cord around. This is how you're plugging your cord in. You're going to wrap it around so that there's a deep connection between your pelvis and this energetic center of the earth. Now, just taking a moment with the eyes closed, feeling in, and letting yourself receive that electrical current, letting yourself receive that energy. And just taking in a few deep breaths. And as you take in those breaths, you can just imagine that it's like you're pulling the electrical current into your body. With each breath, inhaling it in, and as you exhale, you could imagine that it's spreading into other parts of the body. And as this electrical current spreads, it's actually lighting you up like a lamp. So feeling with each breath that you are becoming more and more luminescent as you receive this supportive electrical current from Mama Earth Shakti. All right, so have fun with that. It may feel a little unfamiliar, being that it's the first time you may be doing something like this. But as you practice it, you may find that you start to be able to just kind of drop that cord any old time you want and be able to feel that support and that connection. All right, my dears, enjoy that. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to respond, reach out, let me know. And until next time.